Good morning, District Team Leaders. Welcome to PartyCast Season 4, Episode 16. Hard to believe we're halfway through April already, and it also means we are quickly coming up on what will be the full grad season. So that's exciting. Spring is definitely springing in most places, which sometimes means nice sunny days. It also means cloudy and rainy days. So we had all of the above in New Jersey this past week, and literally on Saturday, I think we experienced all 4 seasons in a day. It was great. Anyway, we've got lots of cool stuff to talk about today. We actually, with our gratitude, we had a very cool event last week with the Kelsey brothers that Leslie's going to share, both some insight as well as some huge thank yous to the team in Cincinnati. We're going to get into the balloon planogram that is setting this week. So Amanda's got some updates and information. Then we'll discuss just some other things kind of going on this week that'll blend into just news and communications and just some priorities that we have for this week in the stores. And again, there's a lot going on. We'll kind of close out and just some ideas on managing through that as well. So let's jump right in. And a really, really exciting event last week in Cincinnati with Travis and Jason Kelsey and their podcast. And Party City was the sponsor of it all. And it was truly cool. So Leslie, let me hand it over to you because you were there live and experiencing it firsthand all day.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. Incredible doesn't even begin to describe it. And to give an amazingly huge shout out to Andrea Anderson and her entire team in Cincinnati. I mean, there were so many people there supporting. They helped us set up for this incredible event, which was the first ever Baby Games, which was hosted by Jason and Travis Kelsey at the University of Cincinnati. For those of you who don't know, that's where both Jason and Travis played and graduated from college. We had 20,000 people at this event, 7,000 students, and Andrea and her team pulled off some incredible garlands, arches. I think we might have had 30 or 40 columns. There were at least 50 balloon bundles. I mean, you couldn't walk 8 feet in this entire stadium without seeing balloons. And then Melissa DiNapoli, our head of marketing, the partnerships that she made, you walked into the stadium and the Jumbotron was just branded Party City everywhere. And there was a ticker tape going around the entire stadium that just had Party City constantly going. They also were able to get us a concession stand, which was the concession stand you saw when you walked in, and we were selling light up cowboy hats left and right. It was just an amazing experience. We also had the team handing out giveaways on the student side, which consisted of 7,000 beaded whistles and 7,000 pom-poms. And we had no idea how important that would be until 2 hours later when they kick off the event. And, Jason and Kelsey come out, and as they're getting ready, because the event was broken up between, I don't want to call them relays, but there were these very quirky sporting things they did, competitions. And when they kicked off those games, the crowd instinctively, 7,000 of them picked up their whistles and blew them all at the same time. And when you saw the camera panning the audience, you just saw these Party City whistles and these black pom-poms because the school colors were red and black. And it just was such an iconic moment. I wish everybody could have been there to feel it. But to the degree at which Andrea and those teams came together to help make this happen, I mean, we are just incredibly grateful. It was an amazing event, and we can't wait to do them again. So Andrea, please, 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 from everybody, pass this along. And I hope your store teams know just how incredibly grateful we are and how fantastic everybody was. Back to you, Chris.
That is awesome. That sounds like so much fun. And, we should share some videos of that. What if we've got a few snippets, and then for the details, we'll definitely share some other information and what this will mean for upcoming marketing. We're going to try and squeeze that into our call on Thursday during the business update. So we're going to try and get Melissa there to kind of talk a little bit about what this turns into for the whole company. So it's not just a Cincinnati event, but it actually becomes part of the marketing that we do throughout the graduation season. So this is just the start, but I think it also shows the lengths to which we're going to try some new things, to do things different, to engage our customers and different types of customers in different ways. This is just a great example of how Party City can reach a whole bunch of people and really have a lot of fun. And this was really about celebrating just being together and having fun with Lumbaby games and the celebration that was going on at the school that week. So Leslie, thanks for all your help as well. But Andrea, super job to you and to your team. I know everybody really appreciated just the engagement and the support that the teams were jumping in. They were having so much fun with it. So really, really exciting event. Very cool thing for us to be able to do as a company. So Leslie, thanks for sharing that update. All right. Another exciting thing we got going on this week is balloon planogram. So let's talk some details on that, Amanda.
I know, it's crazy. I can't believe that it's actually here. I just feel like we've been kind of preparing to get to this point for so long, and there was some bumps along the way, but we are actually headed in the right direction here. This week, our stores are going to be jumping into the full reset. Most of them have probably already dove in. As you guys know, this is very different between our next gen and our legacy stores. But at this point, everybody should have what they need to planogram their stores. So from a legacy standpoint, they should have received their Wave 1 graphics kit. We know that in a lot of cases, they got 2 of them, right? The first one came out incorrect due to a sorting error at the printer when they were shipping out the kits. They really reacted pretty quickly and were able to overnight kits to everyone. In addition, we have PDF versions of the wall and wave pictograms on Party Central. We made it very accessible with that one-click access right on the dashboard in case you wanted to go in and sneak a peek at what those look like. In a related standpoint from our next gen, we have the next gen balloon display guide. And so I think it's really important that we talk through the fact that those displays above each section in next gen are planogrammed. And so with that reset, you're also going to see resets of the displays above. And so we want to make sure that all the stores understand that in addition to just their regular set. And then with receiving, we had the helium shield for the legacy stores. Now they're getting this early. They just need to put it aside. It is going to be for the signage that is coming in 4/26 because all of the remaining graphics are going to be coming in by then. And we are going to do a one-day event across the stores on 5/1 where we are going to change the prices in the system and install the graphics prior to open. And so we want to talk to our stores and ensure that they don't put out any graphics that have pricing on them prior to that 5/1 date, because we are going to have new inflation costs that are going to happen on 5/1, and we're also going to have the costs built in to have high float included in all the balloons. So definitely something to look forward to actually ticking and tying that planogram at the end. From a legacy standpoint, you're going to see that there are some seasonal boxes behind the counter. There is about 12 foot of them. This is an intentional decision. It should be called seasonal flex. So the planogram team is actually going to be updating them for future plans. But what we are looking at is keeping some of our seasonal on site so that we can drive some additional sales. We know graduations happen year round. We know people want a palm tree in December at times. So we are going to be looking at the assortment to see what we can keep on site and merchandise on our seasonal wall so that we can help drive those sales in the stores that we know people are looking for. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about from the set standpoint really is just the next gen set 8-tier move. We know that there was different size base decks. I just wanted to call it out. At this point, there are going to be a handful of stores that need to move those brackets. So there's a video on it attached to the preview task. And we have some directions, step-by-step directions in there as well, in case there's anybody with any questions. This was not an ideal situation, but we are moving forward best we can with that information. And outrigger hooks, we are running low. So we do have them. We have sourced them from another vendor that we are able to get them in. So if the store runs into the position where they do not have enough outrigger hooks because they have gotten rid of them at some point, we can just place that balloon on the wall and the outrigger hooks will be available within the next 30 days to add to the assortment. With that, that's really everything from a reset standpoint. From one more balloon thing I just wanted to call out really quick, and that is the mini columns. You guys said it, you don't like having the mini columns on your grab and go. We are taking that feedback and we are going to test moving forward without that mini column. So you are going to see a task come out today that is directing stores that once it's sold through, that they can not replace it, go forward. And that is everything with the balloon reset, Chris.
All right, lots of good stuff, and obviously, I think everybody knows how important the planogram reset is, and as it relates to balloons, not only being one of our big categories that we're kind of prioritizing this year, but just in sales in general. And we also know that when we reset planograms, it helps drive sales. So, really staying close to this throughout this week, making sure we're getting done this week while we'll have the payroll available for it, is really critical across all stores. And then to Amanda's earliest point was just keeping track of the signage and making sure that all the stores know. This is a really good example of where somebody getting ahead or not reading through all of the materials really could set up some challenges for themselves in their store by having to do price overrides or having to answer questions for customers, that if we just execute exactly like we need to right now, will really go a long way in making this easy and seamless for getting the balloon planogram set up. So good stuff. So Amanda, before we let you off the hook, I know we've got a couple of other things going on in the store. So let's talk promos and some of the marketing that we do after this event, because we've got some things happening this week that will help us drive sales, also drive some traffic. You want to give some details on what we're looking at from a promo standpoint?
Yeah, definitely. We have what I think is the coolest promo that we're doing, and that's 24% off 24. And what is that? It's 24% off of our dated graduation 2024 items. So I think this is going to be a really good traffic driver, as it's a little kitschy, it's a little bit unique, it's not your average number, and we're going to have marketing behind it at the same point. So we would expect to see our customer having a little early insight in some markets and perfectly timed insight in others to get that 24% off. And then outside of graduation, we have like 5 or 6 really good promos in the sense of it's to drive the customer back into the store, right? We have 25% off cocktail. We have a buy one, get one, 50% off summer pails. We have 2 for $30 jumbo drinkware, and who doesn't love a good jumbo drink? Buy 3, get 1 free candy buffet. So really bringing that customer in. That's a really nice link with graduation. And then we are going back again to 50% off of our leopard ensemble to continue selling through.
All good items, all great promotions. I'm even getting all choked up about how many we've got going on. Yeah, I think awareness is really what's critical. And these are good things that district team leaders, as you're in stores and you're talking to team members, are they aware of the promotions that are in the store? A lot of these, while they may not necessarily be in our marketing, are good things that as our team members are talking to customers about their party or even their planning for what's coming up in graduation, yeah, it's a way to show customers, hey, we've got these other things that may play into it, and there's some really good deals. So it allows us to shout value at the same time. We've also got the bounce back coupons that we've got in all the stores. So that started last week. Every store should have received 4,500 pre-printed bounce back coupons that we want to be handing out to every customer with every transaction over the next 3 weeks or so. So these go through, the handout process goes all the way through May 3rd. And then the coupons are valid for 20% off any purchase between May 6th and May 16th. So this is really about bringing customers back in for graduation. It's effective for Mother's Day. It's also through really the early part of summer. So it's a great way to invite customers back in. But it's meant to be handed to the customer. And I know we provided some information in the weekly party plan as well as the original communication last week. And Leslie, this is probably a good one. I know we shared some of those ideas, but what else can team members be doing? And then what can the district team leaders be looking at and validating and observing while they're in the stores to make sure we're really getting the most out of these bounce back coupons?
Yeah, I think, to your point, it is a hand it to the customer. It is not a bag stuffer. And I think a lot of us listening right now have all been in retail for a really long time, that the term bag stuffer would be very familiar to us. And that is not the route we want to go. We have between now, to your point, until May 3rd to hand them out to every single customer. And then the customer, it's a really long runway, which is great as far as driving future sales and traffic into our stores. The customers have from May 6th until June 15th to redeem them. And so if we think about what's going on in that time frame, as a DTL, when you're in your stores, listening to what the cashiers are saying, is it, it could be as simple as, thank you for shopping with us. We really appreciate you. Here's, something off your future purchase. That's good. But we also have an opportunity with Mother's Day coming up, with grad coming up, with summer parties coming up. Like, they can customize what they're saying, especially based on what the customer in front of them is purchasing, to make it feel authentic, to make it feel natural to them, which I think also helps us with our team members buy in and engage in this process, that there's a variety of things they could be saying. So to your point, we put some of those examples in the communication. And I think as a DTL group, the two things that would be awesome is, one, as you're in stores, are you validating that it's happening and listening for how they're handing it to the customer? And in comparison to the examples we provided, if you hear of anything that's working really well or something unique, we would love for you to share that in the chat so we can be sharing ideas on what makes the engagement authentic and successful with the customer. So that would be my advice, Chris.
Awesome. Yeah, good stuff. And again, it just plants a seed for the customer versus just handing them a piece of paper. So it's great. The last thing I want to hit on, this also kind of ties to the front end, but it's also a great way for us to drive some incremental sales this week and really every week. But we've got some good item of the week items coming up over the next couple of weeks. This week in particular, we've got 4-ounce bubbles. We've got a boatload of them in the vast majority of stores. Where we can really get behind. In fact, there's over 74,000 units on hand across all stores. So this is definitely one where, again, the vast majority, there's a handful of stores that are either low or getting close to low on hands. But the vast majority of stores have tons of the bubbles this week. And this is something that we can really engage and show, hey, when we do item of the week, we're asking every time at the register, we can drive incremental sales. The goal would be to sell out. Like, if we can sell 74,000 of these units this week, it would be a huge home run. So Amanda, any other thoughts on item of the week for this week, and thoughts for what we've got coming up and how we can just continue to maximize this opportunity?
Yeah, no, listen, this item of the week to me is like a true item of the week, and the fact that it's 60 cents, right? This is an easy add-on to our customer. It's a great favor for parties. Kids are starting to get outside. To your point, spring is springing. And so getting them outside with bubbles, giving them something to do. This is a great add-on to all of our customers at a really good price point. And so I think just making that offer to every single customer gives us the opportunity to sell through. I think it would be amazing if we sold through all of them. Really, another driver that we're seeing is we're going to be sending that trend end cap this week, right? So as we're talking, driving that customer in and giving them what they want, we are setting an end cap that has Naruto and Stitch and Hello Kitty and all these patterns that the stores have been being asked for from their customers. So that's going to be something that also helps drive some additional sales.
Love it. Love it. And like Amanda said, this is a true item of the week. This is where we can really show and really help even our merchants understand that when we have the right items and we have good quantities on hand, we can make this program very worthwhile for the entire organization, both in moving units and getting true incremental sales. And we've got sidewalk chalk next week, and then we've got a 2-pack of maracas for the week after, which leads up to Fiesta and Cinco de Mayo. So we've got some really good items with good on-hand quantities that I truly believe can help us drive some extra sales. All right, last few things just to round out our PartyCast here. So Win the Season for Grad will come out on Wednesday. We'll talk about that on our Thursday business update. That theme of that call will really be around graduation as well as Mother's Day. So look forward to lots of information on both of those things. Again, Win the Season, it varies by store and by area. So I would encourage you all to kind of review it with your team, take some time maybe on next week's call with your team to go through Win the Season, and then know when you've got to circle back to it when you're starting to get the majority of your stores into the peak weeks to make sure everybody is ready. But it's out there. It'll be out on Wednesday. It'll be there for everyone to be able to take advantage of and start planning ahead to get ready for the grad season coming up. And the last thing I'm going to say, because I know we've covered a lot of different things, there is a lot of information flowing out to the stores. I think there was a question that came in on the field feedback about just the number of tasks that come out during like transition weeks or even like a week like Balloon. We do try to manage those things. So please don't take anything that I'm about to say as, look, we're not aware that some weeks get heavy. We try to protect those weeks as much as possible. And when we really dug into some of those things, a lot of those items that you see, especially in the morning summary that comes via Think Time, is really informational. So today, we still assign everything as a task for people to read. So it looks like there are more tasks. Sometimes it's really just informational. And we've got a plan to change that in the coming months. But for right now, everybody's seeing it as a task. You're also seeing, if you have one store in your district that has that item and it's a select store program, you're going to see it. Not all stores see those. So it's one of those things where not all tasks are created equal. And I think as you guys as district managers can filter through that and help your team see where, okay, what's the workload, what's the effort required, what's informational versus action. I think it'll really help the teams plan out their weeks and really see where they can manage their time and budget their time so it doesn't feel overwhelming. And then if we truly have some of those issues, by all means, share those back up to me, to Leslie, to Amanda, to Cameron, to Howard. We're all here to support and work through those and continue to partner with our other store support center partners to make sure we're counting those out the right ways. And then there are certain events that just come up that are urgent, whether it's a safety check or something that we've got to do with a different vendor. Those things happen and they're just kind of unplanned for. So we know that you guys will work through those with your teams. But I wanted to throw that out there just because I know there is a lot going on in the stores right now. But when you kind of parse it down, you can manage through it. As long as you have a plan and helping your teams with that, I think will go a long way in making a difference in how they manage their week. So with that, guys, thank you so much. We'll wrap this one up. We'll talk to everybody on Thursday for the monthly business update. Like I said, we'll be featuring kind of Mother's Day and graduation. Sean should be joining us this week to give a little bit of an update on the company as we get into the second quarter. So that'll be something to look forward to as well. Hope everybody has a great week. We'll talk to y'all later. Thanks.